Ryan Day believes that Ohio State should be dominant in every game, and they have a chance to accomplish that goal tomorrow night against Western Michigan.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, Buckeye fans, to a feel-good Friday edition of Locked On Buckeyes, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, here on Friday, September 6th in the year 2024. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, also the host of the Jay Stevens Podcast, and today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Ohio State is one of those teams right now that is riding high, that did big, amazing things in week one, and they're trying to do the same thing in their second game of the season as the Buckeyes are set to host Western Michigan tomorrow night. And tomorrow night's a big, grand stage for the Buckeyes. It's inside the shoe, it's under the lights, and it gives Ohio State a chance to do one thing. They dominated last week. It gives them a chance to dominate once again in back-to-back weeks. The Buckeyes can do that. Ryan Day believes the Buckeyes should be dominant in every game, and I echo that. I believe that wholeheartedly. The Buckeyes should be dominant every time they're on the field. It doesn't matter if it's Akron, Western Michigan, Michigan, or anybody else on the Buckeye schedule. The Buckeyes should be dominant in every game. You can't say that about every school in the country, about every team in the country. And I don't care if you're one of the blue bloods, if you're one of a team in the next tier, or maybe you're a bottom feeder. Doesn't matter. Not everybody out there can say they should be dominant in every game. A lot of schools, and I believe a lot of every team wants to be dominant, but not everybody has a chance to do it. And when I think about Ohio State being dominant tomorrow, my eyes first go to the defense. They opened up the season not giving up a touchdown. They actually scored more points than the Akron offense did. So kudos to them. They're doing a lot of things right. Not giving up a touchdown. They scored more points than the opposition did. Hey, hand clap, hand clap. Another thing for the whole entire team. Akron's offense and defense, neither one of them scored. It was special teams that scored. So you're doing a lot of things right. Now capitalize on that opportunity and do it again. One thing I think that Western Michigan might throw at Ohio State tomorrow is when you know that Sonny Styles and CJ Hicks and Ransom and Downs, all these guys are very, very aggressive at times, and they're going to be flying in all over the place to do what they did to Ben Finley last weekend, because Ben Finley, Akron's quarterback, he left the game. There were times that CBS panned over to him on the sidelines. Homie was hurt. Homie was taking shot after shot after shot, and you could just tell, man, he's going out there getting hurt. Jack Sawyer hit him back multiple times, and it's like, hey, homie got a family. The reality also is Jack Sawyer got a job, and his job is to attack the quarterback every single play. Watch out for Western Michigan to try to take advantage of Ohio State's aggressive nature on defense via the screen game. Now, that's a great neutralizer for a guy. Now, if you're trying to, if you think about great defensive ends or great defensive teams that are really, really aggressive, they know there might be a time or two that a screen play is going to be called, because if the offense is able to predict or get a jump on, they might be aggressive here. So let's come on and let's shift this thing up a little bit. Little screenplay to the running back. What would have been a 2-yard loss is now a 12-yard gain. First down, move the chains. That's something Ohio State's defense definitely needs to look out for. Even if Western Michigan does it, my gut tells me right now Ohio State's defense will hold their first two opponents in 2024 to not scoring a touchdown. That's correct. I don't think Western Michigan scores tomorrow. I'm not one for bold predictions, but when we're thinking about being dominant, that's a way to show your dominance. Y'all can't score on us. I'm not saying the shutout either. I'll unveil my score prediction later on, probably tomorrow morning on our Sunday or Saturday morning or game day pod. A little shorter version of the show. I will officially unveil my score prediction for the game this weekend. But Ohio State's defense, it doesn't matter if Cody Simon plays or he does not play, The linebackers with Styles and Hicks and Arvell Reese, comfortable with that trio right there playing football tomorrow for the Buckeyes. The secondary, I mean, it's going to be hard to throw the ball on the secondary in general. Like, it doesn't matter if it's Burke's side or if it's Igman side or if Matthews Jr. comes in for a little bit or Hancock or the safeties in the back. Doesn't really matter. It's going to be hard to throw it. And let's not forget the big guys up front. I think the Buckeyes played 12 guys on the defensive line last weekend. And that may be a number that's not high enough. Y'all, look, that's unheard of. I am probably more of a 6 to 8 man rotation, including the D tackles and D ends. But even then, if it's just 6 guys, I'm cool with that because sometimes rotating guys come back to bite you. But Ohio State wants to be dominant. Yes, defense starts defense starts and sets the tone. Defense wins championships. That's something we're going to start saying here on this show because the Buckeyes have a shot to win one this year. But also the offense. Yes, I know the offense scored 5 touchdowns last weekend, 35 points of the Buckeyes. I believe, 52 points came from the Buckeyes offense. That's great. That's huge. We love that. We would also love for Will Howard and the Buckeyes offense to get off to a fast start. That's one thing Ryan Day talked about this week, even yesterday on the radio show, and that's something we've been talking about all week long. That the Buckeyes offense needs to get off to a fast start. Not a faster start, yes, but a fast start. You get out to a fast start now, you're getting into that rhythm. Yeah, there's an off week, but you know, hey, we can do it. We know how to get out there and push our foot all the way down on that pedal down to the ground as far as it can go, rev it up, and just go. Now, the thing is, that's not saying just straight tempo. That's not saying huddling every time, but still going. No, it's a flow. It's an ebb and flow. It's a back and forth. I think Will Howard throws 3 passing touchdowns tomorrow. I also think the Buckeyes backfield of Henderson and Junkins, I think they both score touchdowns tomorrow on the ground. That's 5 touchdowns right there. Where do the others come from? I don't know. I got the Buckeyes scoring 50 points once again. Now, call me crazy. Maybe. But I do think Ohio State's good enough to do that. Now it's kind of going back and forth between will it be 42 points, will it be 48 points or 49 points. I got a 50 burger once again because they have the talent to do it. Think about if Ohio State capitalized on some of their earlier drives of the game last weekend, they would have been 63, 69, 70 points easily last weekend if they just fine-tuned and tightened things up early. So me saying a 50 burger against Western Michigan, it's not as crazy as you think because Ohio State easily should have scored 3 more touchdowns last weekend, which is why I think I'm leaning 52 to. I told you I'm not going to let all the cat out the bag, but I think they score 52 points in back-to-back weeks. Ohio State, there's bigger challenges ahead. Western Michigan is a bigger challenge than Akron. That is tomorrow. And I do think the Buckeyes need to be dominant. They want to be dominant, and they should be dominant tomorrow against the Broncos of Western Michigan. Are we witnessing a new version of Ryan Day this year? We'll talk about that next. This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are right for the role. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. LinkedIn isn't just a job board. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't visit other leading job sites. So if you're not looking on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. On LinkedIn, 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hire professionals like a professional on LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. This episode is brought to you by Billiards Plus. Billiards Plus has the best selection of pool tables, game tables, shuffleboard tables, and more. And they also have the best service in Central Ohio. Everything you need for in-home and even backyard entertainment is at Billiards Plus. Billiards Plus carries the best pool tables from Brunswick, Alhassan, Canada, Billiards, and more. They are family owned and operated. And when you talk to the staff at Billiards Plus, guys, you're going to know you're talking to an expert who won't steer you wrong. No matter the season, Billiards Plus has you covered for all your indoor and outdoor entertainment needs. Kenny, Sarah, and the whole staff will always go above and beyond to give you the best customer service in the industry. And make sure you check out some of their new games in stock now. Billiards Plus, visit their showroom on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin. Thank you for making Locked On Buckeyes your first listen every day. And if you're someone that wants to get the text, send the text to 614-587-7853. Once again, if you want to get the text, send the text to 614-587-7853. Are we getting a different version of Ryan Day this year? Because when I started to think about what Ryan Day has said during his weekly press conferences, or maybe post-game, or maybe during his weekly radio show, it's starting to give me a sign of a guy that gets it, understands the task at hand, and realizes he has to shift some things so the Buckeyes accomplish every goal they set out to accomplish every single season. It's almost a version of a newer, not saying it's a Nick Saban, but everybody knows Nick Saban thinks different. Nick Saban wants perfection. Nick Saban is going to push you and push you and push you in a way that sometimes you don't even think you need to be pushed or should be pushed, but the end result is a successful team. That's why they had a factory down there in Tuscaloosa. Well, Ryan Day has a factory right now in Ohio State. The difference is Nick Saban had a national championship, I do believe, within his first 5 years in Tuscaloosa. Ryan Day doesn't have that. Now, I'm not saying Day is going to be Saban or be that successful, but there are traits Day could pick up from Saban that he could add to his bag as he's leading the Buckeyes football program. And I think the version of Ryan Day we're going to get this year, we're going to get a different version of him occasionally. And he's going to open up and talk about some things and basically show everybody that when he is not focusing on the offense, he's taking a little bit deeper. He has a better handle on what's going on overall for the whole football program. And I think you're going to like what you hear. And I think this is what's needed for Ohio State and Ryan Day. Ryan Day realizes, hey, I can't do the things I used to do. Now, if there was no NIL, if there was no portal, if there weren't all these lawsuits, if the schools weren't about to pay the players, if there weren't a lot of things that have been changes post-COVID, not even pre-COVID, but post-COVID, Ryan Day might not be doing this right now. He might still be calling plays. But that's not the way things are. And I do expect tomorrow, and I remember people talking about it, and I forget if it was Jeremy Birmingham or Austin Ward on the podcast, forget exactly who was saying it, but they were saying they really hadn't seen Ryan Day be that animated over the things he was being animated about. Not especially during week 1 against Akron. It was almost something that you wouldn't expect. But I do think Ryan Day, he is not just talking about winning and winning games and the bigger challenges that are ahead, but Ryan Day's trying to have no mistakes, cut down on the penalties, and he's talking about it early. No mistakes. The penalties, we control so much. We are able to handle so much that when it comes to the mistakes we're making or the penalties, we're able to eliminate those. Now, I understand that there are times that your hand slips on a block and they may call holding. I get it. The reality also is the referees can literally call holding on every play. Like that's the reality. Talk to anybody that's played football or anybody that's covered football or anybody that's really watched football religiously. You're going to look out here and say, oh yeah, there's holding there and there's holding there, and that corner hit that receiver outside of the 5 yards. That's a penalty. Oh, defensive holding, that gets called a lot. That's a penalty. Oh, they missed that pass interference on the offense on that. There are so many things that don't get called. So many. The refs can't call everything. And if they called everything, games might be 4 hours long. Why? Not because of timeouts, not because of TV timeouts, not because of the 3 timeouts plus a 2-minute warning. 2-minute timeout, I think is what it's called now, not 2-minute warning in college. Man, look, we ain't got to be that different than the NFL. I say we because I'm a fan of college football. Y'all could call the 2-minute warning. Y'all still call it quarters. They still call time. Oh, no, the 2-minute time. We don't need to change terminology. And the original terminology, there's nothing wrong with it. We ain't got to make that move, baby. That's not needed. But what is needed is a version of Ryan Day we're getting right now. A man on a mission, a man that knows what's right in front of him, and a man that's just turning up the heat, turning up the pressure. One thing Ryan Day said in the offseason on then it was called Late Kick. Now it's called Josh Pate's College Football Show. But Josh Pate interviewed Ryan Day, and Ryan Day said, hey, Ohio State's not for everybody. And we know that. And that's one thing that you kind of sift through in the recruiting process. We may like you as a player. We may like your attributes. We may actually need you as a at the position you're playing because there's a desperate need because guys are going to the NFL, or we have a good feeling that 3 or 4 guys in this room alone are going to hit the portal. We may need you. We may want you because of how you play, but we don't need you. Why? Because based off their evaluation, they realize that Ohio State's not for you. It's not the right place for you. And that's nothing wrong with that. Like, maybe Ohio State's not the place for you. Maybe you go play football at Michigan State. Not the Wolverines. No. If some of y'all thought I was going to say that team, no. Maybe you want to go play football somewhere else. There's nothing wrong with that. But Ohio State's not for everyone. And Ryan Day is going to show everybody this year he's going to turn up the heat, turn up the pressure, but also he believes that the players on the team, the guys on the field, they're not going to burst. The pressure's not going to be so much that they can't handle it, that the heat in the kitchen's not going to get so hot that they're going to leave and walk away. They are not going to do that. I remember, when was this? Toward the end of Reggie Wayne's career. He had been an Indianapolis Colt for almost his entire career. All of a sudden, he was a free agent. And got picked up by the Patriots. Not going to lie, it hurt, buddy. That one stung. Reggie Wayne, I got your jersey in my closet. I've been watching you your whole career, cheering you loud inside the RCA Dome and then Lucas Oil Stadium. I watched you. I enjoy watching you play football. You were doing a lot of good things. All of a sudden, you're going to the enemy. What? Yeah, it's very similar to how I felt when Tony Alford went to Michigan. Not gonna lie to you, it just didn't feel right. Now I understand the business of coaching, but it still just didn't feel right. I understand the business of being a player. Still didn't feel right to see Reggie Wayne in that Patriots uniform. And I remember one of my friends, I'm pretty sure it was a friend, I also saw it on Twitter too, people saying, oh man, Reggie Wayne can't take the heat, man. If you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. Now, they were saying that because Reggie Wayne went to, I believe it was training camp for the Patriots. Didn't last long. Maybe 2 or 3 days, maybe a week. Didn't finish the whole thing, and he left. He ended up retiring shortly after that. But he wasn't there. And people were saying, oh, he can't handle it. Now, he was on the end of his career, about to retire, so I don't think that in the middle of his career he wouldn't have been able to handle it. But it's kind of the same thought. Maybe you might be a guy, but when the going gets tough, you're not getting tougher. You're kind of backing down. And Ryan Day, throughout this offseason, I guarantee he's pushing guys, he's poking guys, he's prodding guys. He's trying to see if you're made of the right stuff. He already recruited you. You're there on campus. You lost your black stripe. They believe you got something that can be great in Columbus. But, man, this year's going to be a whole lot different. Can you handle it? So far, so good. Ryan Day believes that the guys can handle it, but that does not mean Ryan Day's pressure on these players is going to diminish. Ryan Day understands what's right in front of him. And a new version of Ryan Day is exactly what I think Ohio State needs this year to win the national championship. Ohio State displayed a new pregame routine last week, and Ryan Day believes it was beneficial for the team with the alterations that they made leading into week 1 of the season. This episode is brought to you by Gametime. Gametime has a new feature called Gametime Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Gametime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Gametime. We have used it, my wife and I have used it to get tickets for football games, Ohio State football games. Well, Gametime Picks, it makes it easier to help you buy your tickets. Gametime still has the seat view where you're able to get a panoramic view from your seat before you buy. The lowest price guarantee, and they still got the Gametime ticket coverage, which is your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Adding Gametime Picks still makes Gametime the number one go-to spot to buy tickets for live events. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Gametime today. What time is it? Game time. Thank you all for making Locked On Buckeyes your first listen every day. And if you're someone that wants to get the text, send the text to 614-587-7853. Once again, 614-587-7853. First 2 weeks are free. After that, it is $4.99 a month. Ohio State displayed a new pregame routine last weekend. They stayed at a different spot than normal. They also had a different attire that they wore to the game. No more suits. They all got sweatsuits now. And Ryan Day said it really helped the team not only look the same and eliminated some of the things you think about when trying to figure out a tie and a suit to wear, but it also allowed the team to have a different perspective in regards to the game day experience. This year, we didn't really talk about this last week, but Ohio State is not staying is staying off campus, not staying on campus this year. They're wearing sweatsuits, gray sweats on the bottom, a gray sweat jacket up top, red shirt underneath. You zip that bad boy up. There's a hood on it, but Ryan Day wants the sweatpants. He wants everybody zipped up and everybody looking similar. One thing about the whole suit thing and suit game, I had no problem with it, honestly. I'm not trying to sit up here and say I did or I did not. I like the suit game. I thought it allowed everybody to have and provide some level of individuality. I think that there was nothing wrong with it at all. I personally didn't. Now, I think back to my brother played football. It was not at Ohio State. It was at Butler University. So the level of football, the type of football was a little bit different. However, my brother wore at Butler a sweatsuit. It was blue, I believe, with white stripes down the outside of the leg, and then a blue jacket up top. Had the Butler emblem on the left chest, and it looked clean. But also, it was game day. I think the suits had a little business feel to it. Made a game day feel big. I remember in high school, on game day on Fridays, we used to wear our jerseys. It felt like a game day. I remember, I believe it was the basketball team in high school. I had to wear a shirt and tie. It was game day. And so if these sweatsuits are something that they're only wearing on game day, that's going to provide a level not only of comfort, but a sense of, oh, this is a special day. Now, the decision to move from staying on campus to staying off campus in downtown Columbus, it made things quieter, a quieter environment. And it's something that Ryan Day, I think, is thinking a little bit different. Talk about a new version of Ryan Day, a little bit different than he had previously. If I am a coach, and I think being on campus is cool, it's great, but we can say somewhere else and it could be a little bit quieter, but still be in the same area, still downtown Columbus, and not have to go to Timbuktu and then back the next day for game day. I think that might be a wise move. Now, the sweatsuits, we have seen them. One thing we got used to with the suits, the suit and the tie, man, those photographers and videographers at Ohio State had a field day making all of the different posts and editing that stuff to perfection because it was just fun. It was a lot of fun for them to take the pictures edit them, and then get them posted before the game. You can still do that with a sweatsuit. The clicks are going to be different. The likes are going to be different. But what is Ohio State not really worried about? Clicks and likes. What are they worried about? Winning games and removing distractions. If you're a player at Ohio State and you know the severity of every play, you know the severity of the season, you understand what's at hand, what do you want to do? Eliminate distractions. Everybody does. Ryan Day is also not only eliminating distractions by where they stay, he's not having guys worry about, man, what am I going to wear on game day? I got this suit. Okay, cool. I got the suit. Okay, cool. I got a couple shirt combination, a couple shirts I can wear. I got about 5 ties I might wear. I got the shoes, got the socks. Man, somebody help me out. And sometimes I've been there. I trust me, my not this closet currently in the room that I'm currently in, but I used to have a closet about 12 suits at least. Now, some of them I bought, some of them were from my dad, some of them were my dad's, but I kept in my closet. Not gonna lie, I did that back in the day, but I've been there. I used to be a person, especially when I was in college. Man, I'd wear one suit on Sunday morning, change that thing up, wear a different suit on Sunday night, and it'd be like, why would you even change? Or on Saturday night, I may say I'm wearing this suit, I'm wearing this shirt, but these are the 4 ties I might wear on Sunday. Remember, we got Sunday morning, Sunday night. So I might pick out one tie for Sunday morning, maybe a little paisley tie, something's gonna pop in your eye. I wear that one on Sunday morning, try to get some eyeballs on me, make sure people know that I'm here. It's really weird to go to church and to try to make sure you wear something that people can see. But my mindset wasn't always the best. And then Sunday night, I might not wear that paisley tie. I might wear a striped tie. The same suit, same socks, same shoes, same everything else. I just might wear a striped tie. It's because I could. Now, I was at the same age as these kids, so I understand. Now, my money was different. They're able to go out and spend, not for all of them, but a lot of them are able to go out there and spend money and just, hey, I want this, I want that, I want that, I want that. And it provides, and it becomes a distraction. If Ryan is able to eliminate that distraction, where's your focus going to be? More of your focus will be on the game. More of your focus will be on your responsibilities, on your duties. More of your focus will be on the things you're supposed to do on game day. 100%. No questions asked. So I understand why Ryan Day is doing this. Also, Ryan Day said they drove through some of the fraternities and sororities to get more of a game day feel. Now, that I love. Being off campus in downtown Columbus and then taking that trip to campus, you're going to take a different route and get a different feel and a vibe for the game day. Get a bus to St. John Arena and then walk over from St. John Arena to the locker room, to the stadium. What are you finding? A different game day experience for even the players. And this might allow them to get a deeper appreciation for what it means to be an Ohio State Buckeye. Yes, fans, we have our own experience, but if you could open the eyes of the players that have been there forever to a different experience, to get more, see more what the fans deal with and what the fans do leading up to kickoff, that might make that game day a whole lot more special. Thank you for making Locked On Buckeyes your first listen today. Now go check out the Locked On College Football Podcast. From NIL deals to never-ending conference realignment rumors, Spencer McLaughlin gets you ready for an exciting season on the gridiron. You can find the link to Locked On College Football in the description so you don't need to search. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. You can follow me on Twitter at jstevens07. Send every email to jstevens317@gmail.com. Buckeye fans, we're on the eve of the next Buckeye game. We're going to have one show tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. on both YouTube and the audio platforms to get you ready for the game. I'm ready for it. I hope you are too.